once at the edge of the gloomy midnight, while weak and tired in sad reflections, absorbed, bent over an old and rare book of forgotten science, nodding off almost asleep, a light knock was suddenly heard, as if a soft knock, a knock, was heard at the door of my room. I said, muttering, a visitor knocking. I remain at the door of my room. That's all and nothing more. That lucid memory of a freezing December, spectres of dying embers reflected on the ground, anguish of wishing for a new day in vain, making my books more expensive, gave respite to my pain. Pain for the loss of Leonora, the only radiant virgin Leonora by the angels, called here without a name forever, and the sad, vague, chilling rustle of the silk of the red curtains filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, and now, here standing, silencing the beating of my heart. I repeat again, it is a visitor at the door of my room, some visitor who, at the wrong time, wants to enter my room. That is all and nothing more. Now my spirit was gaining strength, and without hesitation, "Sir," I said. "Oh, lady, truly I implore your forgiveness more. The fact is that sleepily, when you came to knock so quietly, you came to knock on the door of my room, that I can barely believe I heard you. And then I opened the door wide. Darkness and nothing more. Peering deeply into that darkness, I remained for a long time, astonished, fearful, doubting, dreaming dreams that no mortal had ever dared to dream, but in the unfathomable silence, the stillness was silent, and the only word uttered there was babbling of a name, Leonora. I uttered it in a whisper, and the echo returned it in a murmur. Leonora, it was just this and nothing more. Back in my room, my soul, all of it, all of my soul hugging inside me. It didn't take long for me to hear someone playing louder again. Surely, I told myself, surely something is happening at my window grill. So let me see what happens there, so I can penetrate the mystery. Let silence come to my heart for a moment, so I can penetrate the mystery. It is the wind, and nothing more. With a knock I opened the door, and with a gentle flap of its wings a majestic crow of the holy days gone by entered. Without a trace of reverence or a silent moment, and with the air of a great lord or a great lady, it went to perch on the bust of Shovels on the lintel of my door, perched motionless, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird changed my sad fantasies into a smile, with the grave and severe decorum of the appearance that it wore to a man with your severed and brown crest. I told him, you will not be a coward. horrible ancient and menacing crow escaped from the shore nocturnal. Tell me, what is your name on the shore of the night? Plutonica. And the crow said, Nevermore. How it amazed me that such an ungainly bird could speak so clearly. Although it meant little, his irrelevant answer was, well, we cannot but agree that no human being has ever been blessed with the vision of a bird perched on his door lintel. Bird or beast perched on the sculpted bust of Shovels on the lintel of its door, with such a name no more. But the raven perched alone on the serene bust pronounced the words as if pouring his soul only into those words. He said nothing more than he didn't move a pen. And then I said to myself, barely murmuring, other friends have left before. Tomorrow he too will leave me, as my hopes abandoned me. And then the bird said, nevermore. Overwhelmed by breaking the silence, such suitable words. I certainly thought, surely what he says is all he knows. His only repertoire learned from an unfortunate master whom impious disaster persecuted, harassed without respite until his chant had only one meaning, until the dirges of his hope carried only that melancholic burden of never, never again. But the crow still tore from my sad fantasies. With a smile, I pulled up a soft seat in front of the bird, the bust and the door. And then, sinking into the velvet, I began to link one fantasy with another, thinking about what this ominous bird of yesteryear, what this grim, gangly, hideous, skinny, ominous bird of yesteryear wanted to say. Throwing myself into this, never again did I ponder. Sitting, without saying a word, in front of the bird, whose eyes, like burning brands, burned to the depths of my chest. This, and more seated she guessed, with her head reclined on the velvet, the lining of the cushion caressed by the light of the lamp, in the lining of the violet velvet caressed by the light of the lamp that she would not oppress there. Anymore. Then it seemed to me that the air became denser, perfumed by an invisible censer, rocked by seraphim, whose footsteps tinkled on the carpeted floor. Miserable, I said, your God has granted you through these angels, he has granted you a truce of nepenthe from your memories of Leonora. Hurry up. Oh, hurry up this sweet nepenthe and forget your absent Leonora. And the crow said, never again, prophet. I exclaimed, diabolical thing, prophet, whether you be a bird or a demon, sent by the tempter, or thrown by the tempest to this desolate and undaunted refuge, to this deserted enchanted land. To this home bewitched by horror. Prophet, tell me truly, I implore you. Tell me, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore you. And the crow said, never. Again prophet, I exclaimed, diabolical thing. Prophet, yes. Whether you are a bird or a demon, for that sky that curves over our heads. That God that you and I worship. Tell this soul overwhelmed with sorrow if in remote Eden he will hold in his arms a holy maiden called by the angels. Leonora will have in her arms a rare and radiant virgin called by the angels. Leonora. And the crow said, never again may that word be our departure signal. Bird or evil spirit, I shouted at him presumptuously. Return to the storm, to the shore of the night. Plutonica, do not leave a black pen any piece of the lie that your spirit uttered. Leave my loneliness intact. Abandon the bust from the lintel of my door. Remove your peak from my heart and your figure from the lintel of my door. And the crow said, nevermore. And the crow never took flight. It is still perched on the pale bust of Pallas, on the lintel of the door of my room. And his eyes have the appearance of those of a demon who is dreaming, and the light of the lamp that falls on him spreads his shadow and my soul on the ground. From the depths of that shadow that floats above the ground, he will never be able to free himself again.